Welcome, everybody, to the Super Mario Odyssey Any Percent Tournament. Today, we've got the first match of the C Division. We have so many runners, we had to split them up into several different tournament brackets based on their PB level. So today was the first match of the C Division. I'm Okra, joined by Troy of Athens.
What's up?
And we've got our two runners here, Fletch and Lucine. So I'm just going to start off with Fletch. Hey, how you feeling about today's race? How are things going?
Feeling pretty good. I played a lot of the game last night, and I got some good runs going. I kind of just rolled out of bed, but I'm still feeling pretty good about just playing decently.
Awesome. Good to hear. And what about you, Lucine?
I'm kind of excited and nervous at the same time. I mean, I woke up like an hour ago. I'm still kind of tired, and I'm just kind of practicing right now while waiting.
I have one question. I have a question.
Sure.
Lucine, you thinking about taking any risks, or are you just gonna play well and hope?
Well, I do a couple of fast strats. I do something called Dram, which is basically just something in sand, and then I usually always go for nut clip, but I don't do the route. I just do it for the intermediate route.
Ah, okay. Very interesting. Awesome. Well, runners sound like they're feeling pretty good. Got some maybe intrigue ahead of us. I think this is going to be a very exciting first race. So, yeah, thanks for talking to us, guys. I really appreciate it. Really excited to see how this is going to turn out. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and ready up in the race room, and we can get going.
All right. So you ready for this first race of the day?
First race of the day. It's always a big one, you know?
Yeah.
Staring at the start screen. This is always good. One thing that I will note as well for those who might be newer to watching Mario Odyssey is there is some shenanigans that you can do before the run even begins, but we are underway. Regarding your switches clock, there's this trick involving daylight savings time and the clock ticking over and something happening at that point in the run. So a lot of runners will be setting up their clock before the run actually begins, getting going on that sort of thing. So they have some time where they're in the race room, it's counting down, they're getting ready to do that sort of thing. So I think we saw Fletch adjusting the clock there. We might see the daylight saving time abuse trick there coming out from Fletch once we get to the Sand Kingdom. But I think that this is a very interesting matchup because even though, Troy, their PBs are several minutes apart, this is a story of generations of runners, which is something that Mario Odyssey is finally getting old enough to have, where Fletch has been running the game, since 3 years ago, but the PB 103 is from a year ago. Like, it's a pretty old PB. It hasn't been updated in a while.
Yeah.
Lucine's PB is from 8 days ago, right? Like, this is a very different sort of maybe Fletch is a little bit rusty. There's some newer things that Lucine's been looking at, and I know we say it all the time in races, but anything can happen because of these different sorts of generational gaps between the runners, different things that they've been looking at and practicing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely could explain some consistency that we see in both players. That is kind of what I thought would be like if any chance for Lucine here would be if Fletch is inconsistent, and to be a year. To be over a year since they PB'd, that could certainly be helpful for Lucine.
Yeah, and there it is, Fletch, going for the left side there, but not quite having the height to make it all the way up, and Lucine just taking the right side path, It's only a difference of 2 seconds if you're able to get the left side jump. It's not a huge deal time-wise, but it does kind of set that tone of like, oh, I messed up the first thing, right?
Yeah.
So, one of those things that
did have a bit of a trouble. They did actually bonk before spawning the bridge as well. But it's minimal.
Looking for a 225 exit for Fletch here and a to 31 for Lucine. So pretty close Cap Kingdom, all things told. Very even between them still. Yeah, so we're gonna have a few cutscenes here in the Cascade Kingdom. So I'll just talk a little bit again about that clock stuff that Fletch was doing that we might see later. So in the Sand Kingdom, there's a seed that you can plant in a pot, and it's coded to fully grow after 20 minutes of IRL time. After 20 minutes, that seed is full grown. You can pop it open and collect a moon from it. We adjust the clock so that daylight savings time happens right after you plant the seed. So, you plant the seed at 1:59 a.m. The clock ticks over to 3 a.m., so an hour has passed, quote unquote, and the seed is immediately full grown. That's kind of the point of this, is that you line up your clock, so you plant the seed, it's full grown, you collect this moon immediately, you go on your way. And Sand Kingdom is kind of the first kingdom where we have a bunch of different routes that can open up. Here in Cascade Kingdom, we'll see our runners probably doing the same thing here, both just going up to the Odyssey, talking to Cappy, doing a boss fight. So let's see how Dino Skip goes. This is one of those things that it's a little bit weird to navigate through the air, trying to get the right angle here, but you can get the trampoline on the left foot of the Dino. Ooh, Fletch misses it, actually.
Honestly, yeah, the air time is not the hard part. It's actually when you're not perfect on the movement yet, getting your foot on the trampoline is the difficult.
And we're synced! They matched up again!
Yeah, I actually... I wanted to say it because I for some reason I thought, like, you were talking about, okay, inconsistencies. Honestly, a place that people can be inconsistent is if their pathing is a little bit off. Yeah. And then there you go. And the pathing has to be so, like, exact for that dino to work every time.
And actually, Lucine had a little bit of a cleaner fight, so finishes first, taking the lead away from Fletch already. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, I feel like the differences that we're going to see are probably going to be in the longer kingdoms.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, again, for the first two kingdoms here, Cap Kingdom and Cascade Kingdom, the routes are all almost exactly identical regardless of your skill level. There is one trick once you get to the upper echelons that we'll start to see, maybe in the upper divisions, saves about 10 seconds. It skips the dino jump altogether, but it's insanely precise. It's one of those things you don't expect to see until you're within striking distance of the sub-hour PB range.
By the way, I like how Chad is talking about our commentaries if we can't see them. Like,
hi, we're right here.
Yeah, we can see you. And also, I'm commentating next race. I can make sure that thing you're saying will totally happen next race won't happen.
But yeah, still relatively clean first two kingdoms from our runners here, trading the lead back and forth a couple of seconds. This is very even. Again, Sand Kingdom is the place where things will start to diverge, most likely. There's all kinds of different routes you can choose depending on which moons you want to get, which tricks you're comfortable doing, all kinds of different things that could happen here. Again, we saw Fletch adjust the clock. We might see that here again, planting the seed, trying to get that timing down. Anything could happen in Sand Kingdom. I really have no idea what routes our runners are going to choose here. We'll just have to wait and see. But in between each kingdom, we do have to mash our buttons, skip the cutscene, talk to Cappy, be like, yes, I do actually want to go to the next kingdom. Please let me play. Thank you very much. This is the only drawback of Mario Odyssey in my mind, is there's just all this time of just mashing the button to, like, let me play the game. All right. But here we are. Let's see what our runners are going to choose. So I think Fletch is going to first go and plant the seed immediately. All right, there's that done. They both get the moon overlooking the tower, fully in the sink again.
Yeah, it looks like a moon sink, but technically Fletch is kind of ahead.
Yeah, technically Fletch is... Oh, Lucine,
that definitely
just a little bit too low. Just a little bit too low to get that moon from the bird. Luckily, that moon doesn't go anywhere. You can come back and get it at your leisure, but having to make that jump up again is a little bit unfortunate.
That moon would go somewhere if he had went into the Rumble Room, actually. If she went into the Rumble Room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Yep. So there's Fletch immediately grabbing
Definitely
that
had
fully
to
grown
grab
plant.
that moon beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. It does not stay there if you go into a sub area. You'd have to hit the bird again to make the moon respawn. Okay, and Lucine isn't even going into the employees only moon at all, going straight towards the dune. This is interesting.
Yeah, these are some interesting town routes. Like, I'm so used to watching top level runs of this game that seeing all the alternate routes and sand can throw me for a loop.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, so first of all, this kingdom has been the most rerouted kingdom in the whole run, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
just
pretty
because of the
much.
sheer number of moons that are available and, you know, what you can choose to get.
Yeah.
Different moons have become more optimal as certain tricks have been discovered, but certain runners just don't want to do those. So here you see Lucine skipping Dram entirely. Fletch there, throwing up the cap.
Oh, gonna miss Bullet Bill Dram.
Wow, that's actually really unfortunate. So the idea there is you throw Cappy upwards, you hold Cappy in place while you go get the moon in the alcove, and then Cappy will home in and capture the bullet bill, warping Mario up to the bullet bill right after you collect the moon. Lucine didn't go for it. Fletch failed the trick, so both of them having to go into the alcove and then climb all the way back up normally. And, ooh, man.
Fletch had some really awkward things going on. For a second, I thought that Fletch was going for, going to go for ledge clip route. But because of spawning the box before getting the bullet bill. But, like, that went in some weird ways. Like,
just a little bit of Monka steering there is what that looked like to me.
Yeah, the puzzle just not wanting to be where they wanted it to be.
Okay, so Lucine gets lost in the luggage, probably going to go into the quicksand room next, and then head over towards the Jaxi ruins, which Fletch is heading towards now. I'm going to use this bullet bill to collect a moon on this leaning pillar on the way to Jaxi ruins. And this is kind of one of those, hold your breath. Okay, he made it up. That purple poison down there is instant death if you touch it. You cannot bonk, you cannot fall, you cannot die, or else you will spawn all the way back in town. You don't want that to happen.
And the thing is, there's pretty much no way to recover from it. Yeah, I believe there's like a little bit of a chance where you don't land into the poison if you grab the wall, but in most places on that wall, you literally, if you grab the wall, you're not living.
All right, Lucine makes it up as well. All right, good. Both of our runners able to get on top of Jaxi ruins, collect the 50 coins in the chest, get the moon. Lucine exiting Jaxi ruins the opposite way, though, going the left side around the poison puddle instead of the right. I don't think this is necessarily slower, but this is just, again, a routing difference because Fletch went and got the moon in the crate from the bullet bill. Collecting notes.
Yeah,
looks like Lucine's
doing a route in sand that I have literally never seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen this either, to be honest with you. This exact route. This is this is new to me. But again, you know, this is something that newer runners might just be, you know, because there are so many different routes and different resources available. It's like, oh, well, I want to go get these moons. This is what I feel comfortable doing for now until I get better and better at the tricks that make the other routes work. Just going to do this for now. Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable.
I mean, their PB's better than mine, so.
Yeah, all things considered, still less than 30 seconds separating the runners out of Sand Kingdom here. Fletch does have a little bit of a lead, you know, able to execute a little bit more cleanly on some of the more advanced routes, I'm going to say. Just the ones that you become more comfortable with as time goes on, but that's just the Sand Kingdom. We still got a whole run to go. Now, will we be seeing Lake Clip, do you think?
That is a good question, honestly. I have no clue.
This is one of those things. Lucine mentioned that she was kind of comfortable with a lot of the, you know, the tech and some of the tricks, so I think it's not out of the question. But it is definitely one of those things that, from an objectivist perspective, is quite a risk to go for in a run, or in a race. Excuse me. Let's see Fletch here. Yeah, going to Lake Clip. Ooh! Wow! Oh, dang.
Flips back in.
got the immediate first try setup, but then clipped back in bounds. It's really unfortunate.
I'm gonna be
Now having
spending
to
a lot of time here.
find the spot again. That's not it.
Lucine catching up. Ooh,
Oh,
that
but
was
Lucine falls. Not able to get inside of the alcove. This is... What do you do here? You have to go all the way back. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a turn of events. So Fletch decides against it ultimately. Lucine had to fall down, makes the way around the corner. Now, will Lucine try to go for the lake clip is the question. Answer, no. Not even attempting it, just saying, not worth my time. Why bother? Wow. That's a massive gain of time for Lucine there on Fletch. Hardly behind it all now. So both of them are going to have to do this boss fight up here, the Brutal on the lake, to get the last 3 moons here. What is this guy's name? I don't remember.
Telling us not to do like flip at 103. Here's the thing. There's this one huge factor that goes into doing tricks at a lower level, and that is I want to feel cool.
I mean, you cannot underestimate the swag factor of these tricks, right?
Exactly.
Being able to just be like, yeah, I'm just going to go into this corner, and the corner allows me to be out of bounds and do all this crazy stuff. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? It's super cool. It's super fun.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just the idea of, like, I'm not good at... I'm not amazing at tricks, but I want to attempt Snowdram. Like...
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And this is something that I think people don't give enough credit for in races, is that, yes, technically speaking, late clip is a trick that you will be losing time on if you fail at first try. But a lot of what goes into making races work is how you're feeling as a runner. And if you're feeling good, if you're feeling like you can nail everything and you are nailing the things that you're going for first try, you're invincible. You're on top of the world. Nothing can stop you. You know, you're untouchable.
I mean, that's the same in a lot of competition. Is momentum is actually a huge factor in whether or not you do well.
Definitely.
Mindset gets you a really long way, honestly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Fletch still coming out with, again, a very moderate but not insurmountable lead over Lucine here going into the Wood Kingdom. Now, Lucine did say she likes to go for nut clip, but just to get the intermediate route, which is basically you're clipping out of bounds so that you can bypass a gate, which opens with a small cutscene. It's just a little bit of time save. I expect we're gonna see the full nut clip route from Fletch, assuming you can get the trick to work.
Yeah, it makes sense. The out of bounds is probably one of the hardest parts. My common quote that I'm sure people have heard so many times about this game is, it's easy to get out of bounds. It's hard to stay out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate description there. Okay, but both of them getting the bunny moon, no problem. Going to buy the moon. Fletch heading up towards the tree up here. Very nice Tirana bounces there off the wall. So a little bit of tech, you can set up your cap to immediately bounce off of it and ascend up a wall rather than having to like set it up away from the wall, dive into it, and then bounce on it and then wall kick. Tirana bounces just let you immediately wall bounce up as part of your descent. Just some nice little tech there from Fletch. Okay, so here's the nut clip. I think he's out of bounds. Looks good. Ooh! He got clipped back in! That's so unfortunate. Okay, so a little bit of technical nerding out here from me.
I didn't even catch that, so yeah, go for it.
So, well, first let's watch Lucine. Let's see if Lucine gets the nut clip, and then I'll kind of explain what the heck is going on here with Mario. So, looking at it. 1, 2... Ooh, also inbounds. Yeah, so the way that the nut clip works here is it has to do with the exact... Ooh, Fletch falling again down the ascent. It has to do with the specific animation of Mario's backflip. So when he's backflipping in Mario Odyssey, he actually is going off axis a little bit and going skew. And so if you interrupt that not perfectly aligned backflip animation movement with a cap throw, it will end up trying to course correct and be like, oh, he needs to be up right now. He needs to be, you know, head up, legs down, so that he can throw the cap. And that realignment of Mario's position will push him back into the wall. So you need to cap throw at the right moment in your backflip while you're collecting a moon animation to interrupt your cap throw. It's very weird, but they were both not quite at the exact right moment there. But close, both of them.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one there. Thank you for the raid, Menace Monk.
Okay, so we see Fletch killing the Piranha Plant, grabbing that Story Moon. Probably not going to be looking to do Flower Road Skip if grabbing that moon. Also, I don't think Flower Road Skip is really worth it if you're not doing the Nut Clip route. Yeah, I think this is the right call from both of the runners here. Yeah, so there are some moons that have this long cutscene that plays, and after the cutscene plays, there'll be some sort of change in the level. Like here, this P-switch is uncorked, and you can step on it and pop open a Flower Road. Oh, but Fletch going for Flower Road Skip, not quite getting it. Yeah, so, I think that's the right call.
And because both of them didn't get out of bounds from Nut Clip, they missed a moon in their route. So yeah, they had to add back in this this moon from the Piranha Plant, which does put in a cutscene, but it's honestly no time lost, no time gained, because both of them had to do it.
Right, exactly, yeah. No, but there's several, we call them story moons throughout the game that have this cutscene that plays, and then the level will change in some way after you collect that story moon. So normally you want to avoid story moons as much as possible because there's a really long cutscene that plays and you're locked in place not doing anything, but sometimes you need it to have the level change so that you can progress. But I mean, again, like we've been talking a lot about Nut Clip and the runners not being able to get it, but all things considered, like the rest of the kingdom has been pretty smooth for both of them. Like this is going pretty well, I think. Ooh, Fletch does opt to skip the Skewer boss fight.
Good
ground pounding rolling all the way down. Yeah, that was clean. So going to be finishing up with the one moon inside this nut and then going down into the pipe inside the little pond for the last two moons in the waterway. But Lucine opting for the boss fight instead, just getting the 3-moon multi-moon from the Spewer boss fight. Totally viable option as well.
Gotta see some clean sewer movement here. Looking good so far.
Nice. And this room is cycle based.
Yeah, and opting for 2 cycle here.
Very clean, nice. And with that, Fletch is out of here. Now, so this is good though. This lets us immediately see the drawback of Lucine's route is that it's another story moon. You have to wait for this cutscene. Yes, you do get the 3 moons all at once, but you do gotta wait. So this is the big drawback of going for the boss fight, but that it just eliminates a huge source of inconsistency by trying to do the other stuff. So I really can't blame the decision again. All right, so looks like a 2035 exit for Fletch. Lucine looking at... What are we looking at here?
Honestly, his cutscenes take so long.
I know, it's pretty long. About a 21 flat for Lucine. So again, still less than 30 seconds separating our runners. This is still really close, actually. We still got a lot of the big kingdoms ahead of us. We still got Metro. We still got Lost. Lost is coming up after the Cloud boss fight. With so many things that can go, interestingly, I'll say, interesting things ahead of us.
Honestly, Lost is going to be a huge factor here.
Oh gosh, the tech coming out from Fletch, though, the instant spin pound, spin through roll cancel to pop open the Cloud platform. I mean. Man's just saying, yeah, I know how to play Mario Odyssey. Don't worry about it. It's all good. No problem.
Seeing real tech come out.
Manipulating Bowser to land on the right platform. Very nice.
Lucine with the double long jump. Safe.
Nothing wrong with that either. Yeah, this is actually one of those things, like the actual movement to start the boss fight from the Odyssey does not save a ton of time no matter what you do. But again, it's one of those feel things, like, oh, if I feel like I did something super cool, super fast, like I'm feeling real good about it.
Yeah.
So that'll be a clean boss fight from Fletch.
Yeah,
You
so
seem
I'm
looking good as well.
super concerned for Lost. I just have watched so many games at this point that I know that Lost, despite it being such a short kingdom, is this is such a common kingdom to die in. So
Yeah.
so,
This is it's an acrobatic performance from Mario we're gonna see here. Wow, very nice start from Fletch there.
oh my
nice.
god, that was borderline.
Okay, so this is actually impressive. What Fletch just did is actually the top level movement for the beginning of Lost there. Like that's actually what top runners do to start Lost Kingdom there.
Oh, Fletch, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Oh my god! And we just got a raid from Tyrone. Welcome everybody.
Welcome, Tyrone. Welcome. don't mind us. We're just having heart palpitations over Mario.
Yeah, Fletch is doing
new.
some interesting top level movement in Lost Kingdom and is a 103 runner. So this is just all crazy stuff that I'm seeing right now.
Okay, so to top us off, you would need to do reverse trapedal and cage triple. I don't know if we're gonna see both of those, but I'm very curious now. I need to know. Okay,
yeah, like that first half of Lost. See, like Lucine playing it so safe with the butterfly.
Okay, no reverse trapedal. No reverse trapedal. Just doing it the regular way. That's totally fine, though. Do we see a cage triple? Pause chant?
No, just
no
cage.
I think that this is a totally respectable decision.
Absolutely.
For a race. Because cage triple is one of those things, again, the wow factor is immense, but if you fail that in a race, things ain't looking so good anymore. You're not really in a good place.
Wow. And Deathless Bridge.
Yeah, very, very clean loss from Fletch. Wow. Didn't go for all the big guns, the big tricks, but I mean, who's to complain, right? That was essentially flawless, no mistakes.
I mean, look, he didn't go for some of the big tricks, but honestly, like the way he played the first half of that Lost was incredibly scary.
Yeah, really sick stuff there from Fletch, and Lucine also opting for the Pillar Moon there. Just both runners deciding, you know what, it's a race. I'm not going to do anything dumb. I'm going to play it safe. There's no reason to make things worse for myself.
Is Deathless just easier than I thought it was? Like what?
So the way that Lucine did it there, and I missed the way that specifically way that Fletch did it, but you can do it so that you have time to walk bounce or cap bounce back, get a wall cap throw again. Like you have lots of time to wiggle and maneuver Mario around through the air there. The way that Lucine just did it, the way that top runners will do it, where they cap throw and dive, and then they just turn around in midair and dive again without any pause, any like hanging in the air.
Right.
That stuff, that's scary.
Okay,
that's one of those like, okay, you need to like really know what you're doing here. But the way
does
this
still
end up a little bit slower, but definitely safe.
Does that end up saving time to just dying though?
Yes, it does.
Because like you're going away from the Odyssey, and then you're spending all the air time.
So it's actually funny. It saves time if you have coins in your inventory. If you have coins in your inventory, there's a little animation that plays saying, oh, you lose 10 coins when you die. If you have no coins, you immediately just respawn. And so if you have no coins, yeah, probably dying is the best thing to do. But if you have coins, there's a little animation that plays, oh no, Lucine taking a massive bonk there. Having to climb all the way back to the awning and doesn't have a cap bounce.
Yeah.
Needs to reset all the way again.
Fletch finishing off.
Big bonk.
Town Hall jump. The Town Halls. I can't remember trick names.
Just a Town Hall jump. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
Lucine falls again. That's really unfortunate.
There's a pole there?
There's a pole, yeah. So it's not the worst thing. You can still climb up this sideway like Lucine is trying to do with bonks again. Yeah, and this is kind of the story of what we see in these races for Metro is the verticality can be really, really punishing. It's reminiscent of TikTok Buff. Like you fall down, you're falling down. You got to climb all the way back up. You know, it's not pleasant for the runners.
Troy's just rusty. No, I just suck.
All right, Another little boss fight here from Fletch to see how these shots go. Need to break all the segments on the Mecha Wiggler here. Taking damage. One is fine, but not two. Okay, still had invincibility.
What? Hitbox. Oh my god.
Okay. I can explain. There's a reason.
I mean, I can explain it. It feels so dumb.
There's a reason. There's a reason.
Intersecting hitboxes suck. That's what.
Yeah,
that's
so
the reason.
the hitbox from the head, which was broken and near the two vulnerable hit links, was actually covering the hitboxes.
Yep.
And so Troy, he had to aim a little bit further to the left there to hit the left edge of the vulnerable hitboxes so as not to overlap the head. I love this game. This is no problem, no flaws.
No, this it's so dumb. Mecha Wiggler is so toxic.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, again, all things considered, very good. Still was able to cycle it. Didn't have to wait another cycle, but it's one of those like, oh my god, please tell me this is not happening right now. Please tell me.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. And now Fletch is in Day Metro. Day Metro, one of the most technical and challenging levels in the whole run. Very, very demanding here for the runner. Again, a wide assortment of tricks you can get away with, things you can go for. Let's see how this is going to play out. We're going to get a scooter clip. Ooh, the drive-by. Nice. Very clean from Fletch. There's Lucine getting the 2 cycle as well.
Also getting an intersecting hitbox from the tail that time.
Yeah, just for a little bit. Don't think that Cappy is going to reach the pole. Yeah, Fletch is going to have to throw again. And the taxi's already out of the way. Just talking to our friend on the bench, collecting a moon. This moon is actually called Bench Friends.
Yeah. We got all these minor movement flaws just going on throughout this kingdom right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, Metro's the one that will beat you down if your movement is subpar. Just this kingdom takes no prisoners. But we have Fletch going for a slots route and bullet building, maybe? Okay. Yeah, so again, this is another kingdom with lots of different routes, lots of different options for runners depending on which moves you're getting, what tech you're comfortable with, but there's Fletch just immediately spin throwing, getting all the moon slots at once. Probably gonna be heading to bullet building next to do another very tricky sub area. Let's see if Lucine will also be going for a scooter clip.
And will not.
Ah, yeah. Instead opting for the RC. Because this setup is ultra consistent. There's like very few ways that you can, unless you turn around, and then you need to maneuver it. Yep. Okay, let's see. Fletch, does he get the bullet bill capture?
Looks good.
Wow. Fletch bringing out the tech. That is impressive. That is really impressive for his PB. That's I'm well done, Fletch.
Yeah. This is a lot of what I see sometimes. It's just like cases of this person should have a much better PB than they do. The problem is just being consistent at the tricks that they can pull off.
Okay, can we talk about this for a second? Because Fletch just did a spin pound up throw roll cancel around the corner to make it to the who took out the trash. What is going on? Is this guy sub hour or what? Like
yeah, exactly. Like this Fletch definitely has all the tech in them to get a sub hour.
What is happening right now? Yeah, and so Lucine opting for the other route, not doing slots, not doing bullet building, just grabbing a couple story moons. You know, very, very safe alternative, especially for a race.
Missing the ground pound in the cafe moon. There it is.
Yeah, so Fletch heading into the People's Room, one of our other sub-areas. Most of the sub-areas of this game do have 2 moons in them. There's one that, you know, is kind of the understood. This is the purpose of the sub-area. You pull the switch, moon spawns, we'll grab the moon. And then there's going to be a hidden one. Hidden in quote. It's not really hidden, but if you jump on these awnings over here, you can see that there's an upper level to this room. And, you know, there's a hidden moon, quote unquote. So that'll be Fletch finishing up the Metro Kingdom. Lucine still has a little bit to go, collecting the story moons.
The more the more time that goes by, the less I think that my echo chamber is not like I can't tell if I'm echoing or not.
Oh, you're fine. You're not echoing very much at all.
Okay,
Just
awesome.
ever so slightly. A little bit of reverb. It's a reverb we call it, you know.
Sick. For those who don't know, I'm literally wearing a blanket on my head. I wanted to use the Peepo Cozy emote, but it's not in this chat, and it makes me very sad because I am very much Peepo Cozy or Peepo Blanket right now.
But yeah, so for reference, that was a 32 1x exit for Fletch.
Wait,
like,
doesn't Tyrone have a blanket emote?
I think he might. I'm not sure.
I know we got some Tyrone stuff still in this chat. Come on, drop them.
So I know we're only halfway through the run. There's a lot to go. Like anything can happen. But this is actual PB pace for Fletch. Like that was an excellent Metro exit 100%. For him. Like depending on how the rest of this run goes, we might be looking at a 102 here.
They are plus 37 right now.
Plus 30. Wow, he must have just. That's interesting. That's very interesting to me. His early game is much better than late game must be. Very impressive stuff from Fletch first half of the run. The nice roll cancel over the ice. Like, I mean, what to say? This is just very clean stuff. And here's Lucine going to be grabbing the last moon in Metro Kingdom, heading on to Snow for herself.
And yeah, I'm looking at it, and it's they based on their splits, they lose a lot of time in Bowser's and Moon actually.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
In their PB, they exit Luncheon with a 46-28.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, their early game is just cracked. Honestly.
This is an average day for Fletch playing Mario Odyssey. Okay,
yeah, you know, on 58 pace, if they had top level, you know, Moon and Bowser, it's like, you know.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a bonk that hurts. Yeah, it's kind of one of those movements you want to land right on the edge of this platform here, buffer a spin pound to spawn the moon, but if you're a little bit short, that bonk does hurt. Physical pain from that bonk. It's one of the 2 story moons in Snow that we are essentially forced to get in the any % route. Snow is one of the most closed stages in any %. Like Sand, I think, is one of the most open. You can just go anywhere, collect any moon. Same with Metro, but Snow is very pigeonholes you into going one of these 4 routes, each of which ends in a story moon. And there's just not a whole lot of moons that we have available for us. So we have to grab a couple story moons here, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, aside from a couple of tumbles, you know, a few minor mistakes, I mean, I think Fletch is killing it so far. Lucine, I think, still doing very well, but Metro definitely a little bit of problematic for her. You know, kind of one of those, well, lots of stuff can happen because it's a big kingdom sort of things.
Yeah, part of me thinks that despite the gap, it's like just based on what I just saw with like the splits in Bowser's and Moon, I'm like, just gonna wait for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like we said, we're praising Fletch for having such a good first half of the run, good early game. And yes, Lucine is currently behind, but Lucine's doing really well for a 109 PB.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy, actually.
Missing the Moon clip there. Only gonna lose a couple seconds, of course.
Yeah, that moon clip is weird anyway. I don't blame. That's fine.
And yep, I'm not surprised that we're seeing Snowdram. By the way, it's like, based on everything I've seen from Fletch so far.
Yeah, of course. A little bit unfortunate there from Lucine. Got the triple jump eaten, so did not get the triple jump off of the moving platform. Had to just back it up. Not a huge deal, but all right. Let's all eyes on Fletch now, looking for the big trick at the end of Snow, trying to jump all the way from the top of the ship here to a ledge. Let's see how it goes.
That was.
Ooh! Oh, bonking!
Yeah,
that's actually really bad.
It looked like a really awkward vault, and I just wasn't sure if that would work or not.
that loses a lot of time. So you cannot teleport until you land from bonking. You have to bonk, fall all the way down, land, then you can warp back and try again. Still not quite getting. Oh.
Yeah, it keeps getting really awkward vaults, and this is going to give Lucine plenty of time to catch up.
Mm-hmm. Needs to be angled a little bit further to the left, you know, curve a little bit more in the air than he's currently doing. Let's see. Oh.
It's better, but
oh my gosh, just honestly, not enough.
Yeah, this is not even like a problem of anything other than the vault. Like, I am not even kidding here.
Yeah, all the midair stuff after the first vault, like all of this is fine. Oh, yeah. Wow. Well, that's the thing. That because to my eyes, that looked very similar to the ones the attempts he just had.
Yeah.
But it was just a matter of, you know, pixels. It was just so close every time. Managed to get it the last time. But that does give Lucine a lot of time to catch up. Lucine only needs 2 moons now. So if Lucine's going for Snowdram as well, which it looks like she will be, she's going to be heading to the shop, buying a moon, and then doing the same trick. Let's see how Lucine does with the same trick. That is a massive amount of potential time that Lucine can catch up on.
I'm honestly surprised that Lucine's also still going for it. Why is Snowdram?
I mean,
it's not. It honestly feels like Snowdram should be like a 1-0, like maybe like a low 1-0 trick.
Oh, it's way easier than that for sure. That looks nice. That looks good.
That's perfect.
Oh, clean, clean. Very clean from Lucine. Making up, capitalizing on all that time lost from Fletch. Gonna be catching up here, and I mean, again, I think our runners are very close apart. Again, this is, you know, Fletch taking a couple bonks, getting up that cliff. That's more potential time for Lucine to capitalize on. This is not over. It's not over at all.
It's not because of all the splits that I went over. Like, that is a huge factor right now.
Man, what is this, a 39 exit from Lucine? Again, this could still be a pretty big PB for Lucine as well. Both our runners doing very, very well for their PBs here. Really can't complain too much. Again, Fletch with the tech does the spin throw, or not spin throw, excuse me, roll cancel to the right, cap bounce to land into the water right next to the cheap. Really nice tech stuff from Fletch that we're seeing here. Lucine makes it up, no bonks, very clean. Not going to be going for the fish dip clip. This is okay. So this is a bit of a gripe that I have with Mario Odyssey, is that the naming for tricks is not clear. So there was a trick at the end of Seaside Kingdom.
Why do you have such hot takes?
There's a trick that Fletch might be going for. Both of them might be going for at the end of the Seaside Kingdom here, I imagine, which has been dubbed Fish Clip, because you use the hitbox of the fish to clip out of bounds, navigate in an out of bounds area of the water. But then later, there was another out of bounds clip discovered using the fish and the chest, which was named Fish Dip. I don't know why, but you have to be very specific with what exactly you're saying, because it means different things. So here's Fletch setting up for the fish clip, setting the fish in a specific spot so that when you recapture, you can just slide out of bounds behind the whole level, grab this moon, and head into the sub area. Very clean there from Fletch. Going to see Lucine going for the same thing, but neither of them going for a fish dip, which is interesting, because allegedly, I haven't tried it myself, but allegedly it's just the easiest, the freest trick in the world, as is every other trick. Just so free, so easy, you know?
Well, I'm sure it's easy to get out of bounds with fish dip.
But is it easy to stay out of bounds?
It's not. Probably not.
Better at DSS than fish dip. Wow, that's actually... So we made reference at the start of the run to some trick, some very tricky maneuvering and navigation in the Caspian Kingdom to skip the dino. Saves up 10 seconds. insanely precise. Fletch is saying that is more consistent for him than fish tip. That's saying something, because I think DSS is just absolutely ridiculous. But here's Lucine setting up. Very nice fish clip again. No, there's no 50-star door. There's no Wilco clip, guys. Okay, just, I know you're very excited about clipping, but you need to ease it up just a little bit. Very nice salt triple from Fletch. Ooh, but it's a low cap bounce and has to set it up all over again. That's really unfortunate. The triple to the first part was all good. The triple jump was good, but then the cap bounce was just off center. Ooh. Again, Fletch pulling out the tech, not even interrupting the roll boost, just going from roll boosting off the very corner of that top platform to landing on the bottom platform, the edge of the bottom platform, still in the roll. This man has no chill. I did make mention before we got underway of, I think that there might be a little bit of rust to having to deal with, Fletch's, PBs from a year ago, might have it be getting back into the groove of things, but all of the big tech and all the things that clearly he's practiced a ton are still right there. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't had hiccups, of course, but that's just how it goes for a race. And there's Lucine again, getting a good triple, but not quite on the bounce, not getting the right amount of height. Gonna back it up with this ledge over here. But that is interesting. Both of the runners making that same mistake of getting the triple jump, but then their cap bounce is just a little bit off. Yep, and there's Fletch in the sub area. We've seen heading up to the second spirit fight of the run. And most of this movement over here, where Fletch is relatively standardized by now. Not too much variation here. But getting a nice spin pound and roll. Having to course correct a little bit.
Honestly, with this route of luncheon, I'm not worried until we hit fork room. Like, that's about it.
Yeah. Well, there is one fork in the road, not the fast flicking forks, but a fork in the road with how you approach the moon in the lava pool.
Right.
So you can point your camera down and make it so that the enemies don't spawn. So this game is camera based. If the camera isn't looking at something, usually it doesn't exist. So if you point your camera to not look at the enemies in the lava, they won't spawn. But I think Fletch is just going to have a dead-on camera, just not doing the camera manipulation, going straight on. Okay, so let's see how he handles the enemy cycle now. Buffers a spin pound. Ooh, gets the cap homing throw as well. Nice. Very, very clean from Fletch there. Wow. And then, yep. I think that this is very, that's a very Mario Odyssey moment. You pull off the big tech, you do the thing, you're feeling really good about yourself, and then you just bonk into a wall for no reason. That's very...
It throws off your whole movement.
That's just... I think all of us here can relate to that on some level. And Lucine, unfortunately, missing the cap throw on the box, had to back it up with wall kicking back and forth. Fletch having some trouble. Goomba giving him grief, getting in his way.
Yeah, just more awkward movement going on.
But all things considered, they're going to be jumping off the cheese for a double jump insta capture. Very clean. And this is one of those moments where, so we call this guy the pan bro. He's not a hammer bro. He throws frying pans at you. You have to use the frying pans to break open these blocks of cheese to pull the lever, reveal the moon. But the specific way that the pan bro throws the pans is random, totally random. You cannot control it. You can use motion controls and shake it so that it goes further, or you can push the button standing still so it doesn't go quite as far. But you're essentially at the mercy of RNG, waiting like, all right, will this break open the block? No. Will this break open the block? Kind of have to just wait. But a nice vault setup from Fletch there. Lucine making her way through the fast flipping forks room. Very clean. Setting up Cappy there for a cap return jump, most likely. Yep, getting a little bit of extra height there. Not risking bonking on the back of the mountainside there at all. Very safe play from Fletch. And we see making her way up.
I feel like I'm watching a sub-hour runner. Like, it's legitimately, when I watch Fletch play style right now, I'm like, everything you're doing is sub-hour stuff. Like,
now, not to say there haven't been hiccups along the way, because of course they have, but all of the big, things that he's going for and landing, like I mean, it's clean. There's really nothing to complain about in what he's doing.
Which is why I'm so interested. I'm very interested in how Bowser's moons go, because he's either he just gets unlucky in certain spots, or he's just hasn't worked out well for him, or he just is not pulling off some certain tricks, like is essentially left learning Bowser's and Moon until last.
So 48-24. This is about... Yeah, I don't think we're going to be looking at a PB anymore from Fletch, unfortunately. But he had an insane first half of his run. Really, really good stuff.
It's not looking possible at all.
But Lucine makes her way up. Just the back half of the kingdom here to go. And for those who are maybe a bit newer to watching Mario Odyssey runs, the kingdom that Fletch is in right now is called the Ruined Kingdom. You only need 3 moons to progress past this kingdom. You get those 3 moons from a boss fight against the Dark Souls dragon, we call it. But for all intents and purposes, this is an auto-scroller. You cannot do anything while the dragon is not, while his head is up. You can't do anything. You just have to wait, roll around, dodge stuff. When he slams his head down is when you have your opportunity to attack, and then you need to remove these swords from his head as quickly as possible and ground pound his lump. So there is a few seconds where it is in your control to go slightly faster, depending on how quickly you pull the swords out of his head, but this is basically an auto-scroller, and we treat it that way. Now, on the other side of the coin, Lucine, with a 50-minute lunch and exit. Let me just do some quick math here. Lucine is in striking range at personal best on this run, depending on how the rest of her run goes. This is not a drill.
Yeah. Do you remember the exact time that she got?
At the end of luncheon? No,
Yeah.
I was looking at some numbers to try to confirm the approximate length of the rest of the kingdoms, but I think it was like a 51x or 52x. No, it might be 51x.
It's very important because their PB has a 50-18. So.
Oh my gosh, really?
That's why I'm asking.
Okay, so actually ahead of PB. Nice.
Yeah, most likely.
What can I say? We got the numbers. We got the stats. All right. That'll be Fletch moving on from the Ruined Kingdom on to Bowser's Kingdom, which has more of a, kind of old-timey samurai Japanese sort of feel to it. But also a very story moon heavy kingdom. The kingdom is very split up and segmented by which story moon it is that you're on. So lots of chance for the runners to breathe in between the different segments of this gauntlet kingdom. All right, there'll be the second hit from Lucine, just needs one more. And here we have Bowser's Kingdom for Fletch. All right, so the first story mode will be defeating a giant ogre, is what they call it, even though it's not an ogre at all, like not even a little bit.
I mean, it's called an ogre, though.
It's called an ogre, but that's not what it is. I don't know what it is.
What do you mean it's not what the game literally calls it an ogre?
Yeah, that's the game can say whatever it wants. I don't buy it. All right, let's see the setup here. Triple jump, buffered spin pound, very clean from Fletch. And that's the first story moon done. And there's Lucine wrapping up Ruin Kingdom. Okay, so let's just, you know, put the elephant in the room into words. If things go well, Fletch should win this race. He's far enough ahead that unless there is a Mario meltdown of some flavor, he's in good shape. He's looking pretty good. However, as is always the case for races, the end of the run is pretty difficult, and you've got your nerves to take into account. Any number of things can still happen. If things are clean, he's got nothing to worry about. Just taking it very safe with these moon shards. You need to collect 5 to spawn the next story moon. Not taking any chances at all, no dive back, no nothing, no nonsense, just saying, get me out of here, I know where I'm at in the race, let me claim my victory.
Okay, if you had to guess how far ahead Lucine is ahead of their Ruin split, what would you say?
I mean, not looking at her splits at all, just guessing based on PB.
I know it, by the way. I literally know it. I've been watching.
Yeah, so just doing some quick maths here. Like, I don't know, a minute and a half?
Okay, you're going way ahead of what they are. They're like 12 seconds ahead of their PB right now.
Wow. What did they lose a ton of time in Bowser's? That's what I would guess. Oh, here's Fletch setting up for Bowser Jam, not getting it, choosing to capture warp instead to save Mario's life. Sorry, we didn't talk about some of the tech here. This is another piece of tech. You can go and collect this moon as Mario, throw Cappy back so that Cappy can capture and this little pylon. You collect the moon, warp to the pylon. Fletch unfortunately fell off, and so had to warp back to the pylon without collecting the moon, and then just go and grab the moon. A little bit of a backup there. I must be looking at just wrong numbers then completely. That's really sad. But a very nice first.
People up. I was talking about Lucine. By the way, like.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking at Lucine's actual splits. I'm just like trying to guesstimate based on how long I think the rest of the run might be.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's hard to tell, especially with how inconsistent late game can be for some players.
Yeah. Lots of things can still happen for sure.
Yeah.
But that's one of the 2 brutal fights down for Fletch. Looking to do the other one here with Harriet. We don't actually see Harriet at all in the...
Oh my God.
Bomba? Sir Bomba? That is crazy.
Out of nowhere.
Oh my God. This man knows tech that I don't know how to do. What's going on? Okay, so for the uninitiated, Harriet is a boss where she throws bombs at you and you need to bounce them back at her to knock her down, knock her metal hat off so you can jump on her. There is a trick where you can prep both of the bombs that she throws at you to throw back at her, which glitches one to hanging in midair, and it hangs in the right spot so that she'll bump into it later, and you don't have to knock a subsequent bomb back at her. SR Bomba, this trick is called. And Fletch having a little bit of a mishap on the last cycle there for Harriet, but the first part of the fight was just immaculate. I mean, what to say? I didn't think he would even go for that at all.
Yeah, the Star Bomba was completely by surprise.
Wow. Fletch just pulling out all the stops here. Here's Lucine trying to head over to this moon here. Not going for the capture warp at all. Totally respectable decision. Now, Lucine did grab an additional moon earlier on in the kingdom, so you cannot get by through this kingdom just collecting the story moons. You also need 2 additional moons other than the story moons to progress past the Bowser's kingdom. Fletch has already collected his 2 extra. One was in like an alcove just back there. And Lucine has also collected her extra 2 without doing that one because she did a capture warp with a bird right at the start of the kingdom before fighting the ogre. It's a bit of an older route, but it does check out. It's essentially the same time. It doesn't lose or gain any time with what Fletch did. This is the runner's preference. But here's Fletch heading into the Robo Brood fight. Looking to have a clean climb. Ooh, not quite making it up. It means so the top of the robot turns to face Mario whenever he's on the ground. Had to go back in front to recenter the head, and now can make the climb back up. Gets the ground pound. Looking to stay on top of this robot the entire fight if at all possible. Gets the second ground pound. 2 more to go. And Lucine having a little bit of a hiccup here with the topper fight, unfortunately, but is able to... Oh no! Now which hat is it? This is really unfortunate.
Yeah. Let me hear for a second.
Okay, Fletch having to try again for the spin pound. Still not the worst thing in the world. Needs to set up for an instant dive, instant buffered spin pound. Gets it! Gets the target acquired. Wow, very, very clean boss fight for Fletch.
I swear to God, this is a sub-hour runner.
Yeah, Fletch is not messing around. He's here to win. Wow. Very impressive stuff from Fletch. Is Fletch on PB pace? Unfortunately, no. But he did have a very clean first half of the run. I think based on the first half of the run, like after exiting Metro Kingdom, PB might have been possible, but just escaped him as the run kept going on. But it is a race, you know. That'll happen. Now, whether or not Lucine is still on PB pace is a question. I'm not entirely sure. It seems like it might be possible.
Yeah, Fletch, PB Pace ran away from them in Snow Kingdom, actually, because they failed Snowdram twice.
Yes.
But honestly, other than that, it's been fine.
Yeah, I mean, this run has been really, really good, aside from... Now, granted, you know, it's one of those moments you're like, oh, I'm having a Mario meltdown, everything's going wrong, the world is ending, everything is blowing up, this is terrible, I hate this game. It's one of those moments where you're just kind of... You want to break your controller in half. But aside from that, the run has been really, really good for Fletch. Really, really clean, all things considered. Alright, just got the Robo Brood fight for Lucine here. Looking to make the climb. Ooh, unfortunate there. So one of the other mechanics of this game is that there is no button for diving. The button combination for diving is you press the ground pound button, and then you interrupt that ground pound animation with a cap throw button. And so it's 2 buttons that make you dive. So Lucine, I think, was trying to just ground pound there, maintain some of the positioning of where Mario was relative to the robot, but pressed the second input for a dive and immediately dove into the wall of the robot, bonked, fell all the way down. Had to reset back up, but is able to do the backup strat with Bird, knocking the robot over, gets up cleanly, gets the second hit, looking to close it out. Meanwhile, Fletch gets both the rocket flowers, making his way over to the Moon Cave skip. And the Moon Cave skip is probably the biggest, most important trick in the entire run. If you're a beginner, this is what you learn first. This is your first trick. This saves so much time. Unfortunately, Fletch missing out the first time. Needs to get the right position on this wall kick, for the right position on the second wall kick. He's not getting it. Not landing on the right spot on the wall there. That might be just... Ooh, that works. Wow. All right. Third try for Fletch there. And Lucine, a little bit of a bumpy road there. Little rough with the Robo-Brood boss fight, but able to finish it out. Still trucking right along. All right, we have one last encounter with Bowser here. Inside the core of the moon or something. It's really unclear where specifically this is because it kind of looks like a liminal space almost.
It's the moon.
Yeah, basically interrupting Bowser's wedding with Peach in the wedding chapel on the moon. He opens a trap door, drops you down inside the moon, and now you're fighting him in the moon. No, this is normal. This is all totally fine.
Like,
this is all.
I knew Bowser like Bowser has done some interesting things to the moon, honestly. Like, like this arena just exists down here. Like, what's happening?
Okay, so a little bit of an update on Lucine's run. So I don't know what Lucine's moon gold is, but assuming that Lucine is capable of getting a 530 moon, this is still PB pace for Lucine.
It is. It is still PB pace. Their gold is a 544.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, this is. She is like within 10 seconds of her PB.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, and for the final sequence of the run, we capture Bowser himself. We possess him and are inhabiting his body for an escape sequence as this portion of the interior of the moon starts to collapse. Probably looking at a 106 here for Fletch, which is still an excellent run for a race. Lucine setting up for her Moon Cave skip. Looks clean. Nice, first try. Can't hate that. Oh no, just not quite the height. Has to do it all over again. Again, getting the wall kick first try. A little bit closer this time with the cap bounce. Able to get there, and Fletch is in pillars. Let's see how this pillar room goes.
Honestly, reading chat right now is just an average day in the SMO community. Like,
we love the pillar room. Runners despise it because it's annoying, but we as viewers love the pillar room. That's going to be Fletch clocking in at just under a 106, looking at a 105.52. Very, very nice run from Fletch. Clinching the victory in the first round. But it's not over, because Lucine still has PB potential. Actually, there's still
it's risky with like how
it's really close. It's really close
considering how a difficult Moon Cave skip went for her. But other than that, like she's still on days. Really close.
So this is the last cycle, I think, of the Bowser fight.
Yep.
How many hats is he gonna pop out? Yeah, it's the last cycle. So, oh my gosh, it's actually so close whether or not she can PB. I'm not sure. I don't know.
It'll come. I won't know until they start Escape, honestly. I don't know times otherwise. It's barely possible.
It's like, oh my gosh.
A perfect. I always go on like about 2 minutes. Like a perfect escape, not including PDSS, is about 2 minutes.
Yeah,
And
this
so-
is like.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, let's frame it this way, right? Even if Lucine does not PB here, this run is so close to her PB, like you can never be upset with having this run in a race, right? Like this is Lucine left it all on the table, right? Like we can't. There's no room for us to complain here. This is fantastic, fantastic showing of this, yeah, no matter what. Oh, that
Fake out.
a little cheeky, like, am I gonna,
That was good. I like that.
Oh, an XD skip just for the memes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Huge respect to Lucine right now.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so we call it XD skip, but it's actually a skip which saves no time. It's just for memes. It's just for funsies. All right, here we go. Our second round of enemy music.
Needs just around a one of two.
One more fireball. Oh, 2 more fireballs, 1 missed. I think with that missed pillar, unfortunately, PB is gone. But this is still a wonderful, wonderful race performance from Lucine.
10-20 seconds. Like, this is ridiculous how close she got to PB.
Right? Oh, it's still really close, though. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
She got nervous. Which I
Oh
don't blame.
no. The angle. She got angled.
Yeah.
Really, really close still. Just missing PB by a handful of seconds, but that will be Lucine clocking in her race with a 109.23. GG's to Lucine. Missing PB by just less than 10 seconds. So close
Yeah.
to glitching it out.
It's insane.
Wow. That's actually crazy. That is impressive. I mean, what to say? Wow. Wow.
Like, entirely just possible PB in another week, which makes sense considering just PB'd like 3 days ago, but like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is something that we talked about. You know, the generation of newer runners, they're grinding away at this game. They are constantly improving. They're PBing like every week. Like, improvement is always coming from you. You never really know when you're just gonna have that. Oh yeah, don't worry. I just everything finally came together. I PB'd by 2 minutes. Like that happens sometimes. So,
And by the way, they can hear us.
Yes. So let's welcome on back Fletch and Lucine to our room. See if we can have them pop in here for a quick little interview. Because I'm curious.
They're here.
All right. GG's, both of you. Thank you so much for a wonderful race performance. I want to begin with Lucine. Lucine, that was so close to your PB. How are you feeling right now? What's going through your mind?
I'm a little upset because most of the reason that I didn't get a PB is because of Mooncave Skip, because I thought I had enough height, but obviously I didn't. And I accidentally reset my splits because I should have compared it, but I think Metro is mainly what screwed me over. Because Night Metro was a complete mess. I don't know what happened, and then Day Metro was a little bit rusty, it seems.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, that was very impressive, getting within 10 seconds of your PB in a race. I mean, you must be feeling good at least about, bringing it all to the table for that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting more consistent with my runs at least.
Meanwhile, I have Fletch, with honestly, you have a ton of potential.
Thanks.
I think with the movement that you have.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate that. But I always have consistency problems.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate to see what happened to you with Snowdram. You know, never what you want to have happen, especially in the race. But how did you feel about how the rest of your run went? You know, we were talking about your performance through Metro, going for the bullet building route. Like, you know, how long have you been trying to get these strats down, I guess?
I practice difficult strats a lot. Even before I implement them, I like to just practice them for fun for the future. So that's kind of where that comes from. I was happy with a lot of things, and I was like disgusted with a lot of things in the run as well. There were some really just embarrassing moments, quite frankly. The Snowdram, definitely I need to work on that. I haven't actually practiced it in a long time, so.
Yeah, and then late clip.
Yeah, late clip. Yeah, I got the clip like first try, and then I just didn't throw Cappy. Like I kept pressing Y and not throwing Cappy to stall in the air so I could ground pound, and I kept going back in because of that. Or no, I kept missing the ground pound. I was throwing Cappy, I kept missing the ground pound. Input.
Yeah,
but
definitely
yeah,
one of the more finicky things.
It's just difficult to what was I gonna say? Sometimes it's difficult to pull off stuff in a race for me. I get nervous.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. Cannot underestimate the race nerves.
Yeah.
Yep.
This definitely can change some mindsets.
But yeah, I mean, if this is you being frustrated and disappointed and, you know, agitated at how rest of you are and how things are going, Fletch, I'm very excited to see, you know, your future races. Hopefully, you know, nerves will calm down a little bit, able to get things going more smoothly. I'm looking forward to what we're seeing from you, and even you as well, Lucine. I mean, again, so close to PB in this race here. Like, you know, you PB'd just last week. Like, still looking for great things to come from you as well. Super excited about your progress as well, because it looks like you're on the rise.
Yeah, I just need to become more consistent late game. I think that's my main struggle.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this race. Thank you both for popping in. If you would like to in the chat, you can follow the racers. You can follow the commentators as well. And we will be having more Super Mario Odyssey next. That is our next race. But for now,
thank you for having it. Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you.